Well, howdy, 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 fans. This is old T Voeltz. You know me. I'm coming to you directly from C Nation. Just kidding, but I am coming to you from the offices of OneWrestling.com. And today we're talking NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. That's right. It's happening in a mere days. This weekend from Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. It's NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. And I got some predictions for you, so I'm going to check my records right here. Hey, first of all, folks, before I get to the matches, you know, this wasn't supposed to be a solo act. Old Big Ray was supposed to join me, but he got called away to this big party. It's a bit of a Lord Alfred Hayes style party, and that's a shoot, brother. But let's get right into the matches because we don't have time to waste. Our first match is returning from that vicious beatdown from Tommaso Ciampa, the returning Johnny Gargano. Now, I got a soft place in my heart for Johnny Gargano. Why? Because way back in the day, pardon me while I put myself over, I used to work some shows for Johnny Gargano's dad. That's right, Johnny Gargano was running wrestling shows. Now, of course, I didn't know back then that one of those kids, the promoter's son, was none other than Johnny Wrestling Johnny Gargano. So I got a soft place in my heart for this guy. Hey, how about some name drops? Back when I was wrestling for Gargano's dad on the Gargano shows, I met none other than Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Now, this was just in my first handful of matches ever, and guess where I met him? At the urinal. I'm standing there at a urinal doing my business when Jimmy Superfly Snuka rolls up next to me in the adjoining urinal and says, "How you doing, brother?" Whoo-wee! I tell you what, I was starstruck. Hey, enough bathroom talk. Let's get rolling. Johnny Gargano takes on Andrade Almas. I cannot say his name, but you know this guy. Since this guy turned, let's say, to the dark side, Almas, I like this guy. Doesn't have the best win-loss record, but he's really seems to be finding his own niche since he has found the dark side. As far as prediction goes, I gotta go Johnny Gargano, and not just because I like him. Almas, he deserves better, but this guy does not have a good win-loss record, and I don't think it's going to be any different at NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. Let me pause for a minute, guys. I'm sure you've seen the troubles going on with the GOAT of professional wrestling, Nature Boy Ric Flair. That's right. The Nate, the greatest professional wrestler of all time as far as I'm concerned. From way back when, from the moment I discovered the National Wrestling Alliance, Ric Flair has been my number one, and that never changed. And I've seen some good ones come and go. Randy Macho Man Savage, of course, Shawn Michaels. The list, I could go on all day. But for me, the GOAT all time, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Prayers for the Nature Boy. We're all praying and hoping that he pulls out. We don't want to lose this legend. He's got a lot more to do in this world. All right, we brought it down. Now we're going to bring it back up. Aleister Black versus Hideo Itami. Now, of course, Hideo Itami is starting to embrace that dark side that I was talking about with Almas. And since he's done that, we've seen a much more aggressive side of Hideo. Now, of course, the former Kenta was a feared striker when he was overseas, but since he's come to the WWE and NXT specifically, not the greatest of career. He's been plagued by injuries, and let's face it, he has been through some wars before he ever made his way to the NXT. So maybe he can't flip-flop and fly like he once did, but he can still kick somebody's head off, and that's what Aleister Black is going to have to watch for. But same could be said for Hideo Itami. Aleister Black, this guy is on fire. As far as who's the next big thing in wrestling, I think it's Aleister Black. No doubt when it comes to NXT, he's the next big thing. There is no doubt. Watch for huge things going forward, so I'm going to have to go with Aleister Black coming out the winner here. Sorry, Hideo. Up next, we have the NXT Tag Team Champions, the huge, the tremendous Authors of Pain with of course, Paul Ellering. Can you believe it, old-time fans? Did you ever imagine that in 2017, when we're talking prediction shows, we'd be talking about Paul Ellering? This guy has been around forever, and he's still going, and he's managing champions still. Who's Paul Ellering? Why has he been around forever? You ever heard of the Road Warriors? A little team called the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk? He was their manager, and now he's back and managing champions once again. Well, they're taking on this Sanity team, Alexander Wolf and Killian Dane, with, of course, Eric Young and Nikki Cross, also a part of Sanity. Watch for outside interference from these guys. Is it going to be enough outside interference to beseat the Tag Team Champions, Authors of Pain? I really like the in-ring abilities of Sanity. I don't care for their look much. It's a little bit too hard to tell them apart. They look very similar. I would like some more distinctive looks between the two. I'm a huge Eric Young fan, but he's not necessarily in this match. He's going to be outside the ring, most likely. This is a tough one. I'm going to have to go with... Heck, they're retaining their titles. The Authors of Pain are walking out still Tag Team Champions of NXT. Hey guys, that was a tough pick, and maybe you don't agree with it. And if that's the case, let me know down in the comment section right here on our YouTube page. And if you haven't done so already, become one of the 20,000 plus subscribers to One Wrestling's YouTube page. And while you're at it, go check out OneWrestling.com. It has tons of material. We're talking nuts and bolts of Raw. We're talking the SmackDown reports. We're talking the Global Impact reports. We're talking a bunch of columns, articles. Of course, there's videos from the legendary Bill Apter. Of course there is. Going strong. OneWrestling.com is huge, and it's been around a long time. Still very respected and still shooting for the stars. We're adding content all the time. Moving on. Boy, I tell you what, is Big Ray missing out, all right? Or what? Excuse me. Is Big Ray missing out or what? I would say yes, he is. Now, I know he's a big fan of Lord Alfred's gimmick party, but hey, that's a shoot, brother. But hey, that's his loss. We're here to predict with or without him, and in this case, it's without him. All right, up next, the NXT Women's Champion, the undefeated Asuka. This guy she surpassed Goldberg's streak. Did you know that? She is unstoppable. Now, is this the time for her to no longer be unstoppable? Just happened to Neville recently. If you don't know about that, go check out my most recent Nuts and Bolts of Monday Night Raw. You could be one of the 1,200 people that are checking that out this week. Thank you, by the way. Whew, I'm done putting myself over because I'm getting blown up, baby. Anyways, Asuka has been on fire since day one. She's unstoppable. Still the champion. Well, she's taking on Ember Moon. Is this the end of the run for Asuka? Tell you what better time to premiere on the main roster, Raw or SmackDown, than after this weekend's SummerSlam for Asuka? Could that mean that Ember Moon walks out the NXT Women's Champion? I just can't see it. Until someone that's undefeated like that gets defeated, I just can't go expecting or predicting, in this case, them losing. I got to go with Asuka retaining the championship. What do you think? I can't hear you. I guess you're going to have to put it in the comment section or hit me up on the Twitter. I'm at Travis Voeltz. Travis, V as in Victor, OELTZ. I'm the little engine that could of Twitter. Sorry, tongue-tied, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers. I'm tongue-tied. My caffeine was hours ago, can you believe that? But I'm still going strong. All right, I'm done annoying you guys. We got one more match, and this is a big one, and also a very hard one to predict. The challenger for the NXT Championship, Drew McIntyre. Now, of course, longtime fans remember Drew McIntyre his first go around into the WWE started huge. He was the chosen one, chosen by none other than Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Didn't quite work out so great for him. Ended up in 3MB. Do you remember them? Exactly. Anyways, he went and left the WWE and found himself as a performer, as a professional wrestler, and he is back and better than ever. This guy has star written all over him. He was always stacked full of potential, just like the Lord Alfred party that Big Ray's at. We're talking stacked. Anywho, he was always full of potential. Now we're talking about Drew McIntyre here. And now he has found himself as a performer. Is it going to be enough to take the title from the glorious one, Bobby Roode? You just got a feeling that after SummerSlam, which of course is right after NXT TakeOver, as in the next day, we're going to see some roster call-ups. I think, because SummerSlam is considered by many the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, or special event, next to WrestleMania. Could we see on either at SummerSlam or the Monday Night Raw, after SummerSlam, roster call-ups? In that case, heck, Drew McIntyre could certainly be on the main roster. Bobby Roode could certainly be on the main roster. Whoever walks out of the NXT title match, not the champion, very well could still win by getting called up to the main roster after NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. Is it going to be Drew McIntyre or is it going to be Bobby Roode? I'm going to have to go with Bobby Roode retains. I can't help it. The glorious one, Bobby Roode, is gonna retain, but I think Drew McIntyre is still gonna look very strong in that matchup. There you go, guys. That's it. 5 strong matches. Now here's the caveat here. In recent times, and we're talking the last year or two, however long the takeover specials have been going on, and I can't remember right now. Let me know down in the comment box because I'm getting a little bit nutty. Anywho, NXT TakeOver has often been considered actually better than the subsequent WWE main roster pay-per-view the same weekend. Why is that? Are the stars hungrier, or do they perhaps maybe they have more freedom to express themselves the way they want to? Or maybe it's that very niche, close-knit, die-hard NXT fan base. Or maybe it just really is better. What do you think? Is it just that niche audience? Is it the fact that it's on before the main roster one, so people are fresher? Is it because they have more creative freedom in their matches? Or is it because, plain and simple, it's just better? What do you think? I'm really interested to hear what our fan base out there thinks about this. Because, you know what? If I was on that main roster following these NXT shows, I would be like a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. I would be on my toes. Whew. Hey guys, I'm getting out of here. I got some more things to do, and I can't even get into it right now. Watch for that later. Plus, I'm getting a little bit crazy, maybe a little bit sleep. Hey guys, I better get out of here because I'm getting a little bit sleep deprived and tongue-tied. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Hey, big shout out to Big Ray. I hope you're enjoying that Lord Alfred gimmick party. Maybe we'll catch you next time. Hey, watch for more prediction shows like SummerSlam prediction shows coming at you also from One Wrestling. And if you're not one of those 20,000 subscribers to One Wrestling's YouTube page, what are you waiting for? Woo! Yeah, hey, big shout out to the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the GOAT of professional wrestling. You can kick out, champ. It's not even a 3 count yet. Kick out, brother. Hey, till next time, I'm old T Voeltz. Thanks for joining us on this prediction show, and stay tuned for more action, baby.